The movie opens with Rose, a teenage girl with bruises all over her face, clearly traumatized after surviving a life-threatening event. The scene transitions to a flashback from weeks earlier, showing her mother, Alma, returning home from work. Rose excitedly wishes Alma a happy birthday, which is the next day. Alma asks her to pack for a boat trip with her boyfriend tomorrow. Rose reluctantly agrees and heads out for her night shift at a hotel. The next morning, after her shift, Rose returns home, and Alma is packing their things. Rose isn't eager for the trip, feeling like a third wheel, but Alma insists she come along. As they drive, Rose questions her mother about her boyfriend. Alma, having known him briefly, assures Rose he's trustworthy. Rose is surprised by how much trust Alma places in him, especially considering they're embarking on a 10-day sailing trip. They arrive at the dock, where Alma is greeted by her boyfriend, Derek, who shows them the route near Bermuda. As Alma gathers her things in the car, Rose notices a man approaching her mother. Curious, she later asks what he said. Alma replies he just complimented her appearance. Soon after, Rose meets Derek for the first time. He reveals he bought a second-hand yacht named Annalisa. The three set off on their sailing trip. During the journey, Derek surprises Alma with a birthday cake featuring a funny tombstone design. They celebrate together. He gives Alma a beach t-shirt and hands Rose a knife for protection. When Rose asks about his work, Derek explains he was once a cop and now does private security consulting. He then shows Rose how to tie a knot and invites her to help sail. Outside, he teaches her how to steer the yacht. Alma captures the moment on Rose's phone, but just then, the mainsail hits Alma, knocking her into the water. Derek manages to pull Alma from the water just in time. As Rose rushes to get first aid and a blanket, she stumbles upon an AR-15 rifle and pistols hidden inside the cabin. Startled, she quickly grabs what she needs and returns to help her mother. Alma, a bit shaken, apologizes for dropping Rose's phone into the sea, but Rose brushes it off. Moments later, the weather begins to worsen, and the trio heads into the cabin. Alma suggests turning back. They haven't gone too far, but Derek reassures her the skies will clear by morning. That night, strange noises wake Rose, making sleep nearly impossible. By dawn, the storm has passed. She joins Alma outside, who sits quietly, drink in hand, staring into the horizon. Rose expresses her desire to go home. She's clearly uncomfortable, but Alma insists this place holds beauty. She quietly admits she's done her best, even if it isn't much. Rose, moved by her words, reassures her mother she's already more than enough. Derek joins them shortly after, and Rose asks about the rifle she found. He casually says it's for work and questions if she has a problem with it. She says no, but admits she wants to try it. Amused, Derek brings out the rifle and teaches her how to shoot. To his surprise, Rose is a natural. He praises her aim and asks if she's done this before. Nervously, she says it's her first time. Alma adds that Rose's father, a soldier, died in the war and her daughter has always been a fighter. Later, Rose checks her laptop and notices a ship nearby, but dismisses it. Meanwhile, Alma and Derek drink and laugh, eventually calling Rose over. She joins them for a drink, but soon feels dizzy and retreats to her room. Waking to strange noises, she peers outside just in time to see a ship crashing into theirs. Two men board and immediately confront Derek, demanding something back. He insists he doesn't know what they mean. Alma pleads with them to stop, but the captain strikes her hard. Rose realizes it's the same man who approached Alma before. As Alma urges her to hide, the captain shoots her without hesitation, then wounds Derek, sending him overboard. Trembling but determined, Rose hides, clutching a gun. The attackers enter the cabin and finally find what they came for. Rose discovers the yacht has been set ablaze. She grabs a fire extinguisher and quickly puts out the fire. Unfortunately, when she goes outside, she finds her mother's lifeless body, leaving her devastated. The next morning, Rose is alone, unsure what to do, especially with the ship burned and broken. The yacht's engine fails, and she tries to fix it, but it doesn't work. She wraps her mother's body in clothes so she can bury her properly when she returns home. Rose attempts to call for help, only to find the radio damaged by the fire. Suddenly, she hears noises and checks outside only to find Derek in the water, tied to a rope. He begs for help, and she pulls him onto the yacht, treating his wounds. Angry, she yells at him for letting her mother die and demands to know who the attackers were. Derek insists he has no idea. She asks Derek what she should do and shows him the SOS transmitter she found, but he says it's useless. Since the yacht isn't moving, he asks her to take a spare jib, tie it to a rope, and raise it up the mast. Though challenging, Rose manages to do it. The next day, she cares for Derek while mourning her mother. Later, she snoops around the cabin and finds photos of Derek with the killers from last night. Realizing he lied, she quickly ties him up and steals his knife. After fixing the sail, she can't find Derek in his spot. Searching the cabin, she's surprised when Derek emerges from the toilet, telling her she can't even tie a proper knot. She demands answers about the thugs, and Derek finally admits that they are monsters and that the less she knows, the better. He tries to fix the yacht engine but fails. Rose suggests they should return, but he says the ship will be carried away by the current. That night, Derek asks Rose to watch over the cockpit while he rests. He tells her to steer northeast so they'll reach Bermuda soon. The next morning, Derek notices Rose wearing her mother's necklace and claims he gave it to Alma. Rose doesn't believe him, as her mother had worn it for years. Derek then confesses he had been trying to win Alma over since Rose was in middle school, and after many years, she finally gave him a chance. Later, while Rose is in the cabin, Derek starts shouting angrily. They've veered off course into the Atlantic, and the current's too strong to change direction. His frustration boils over into cursing. Terrified, Rose locks herself in her room, clutching a gun. The next morning, Rose wakes up to the sight of an island nearby. Excited, she steers the yacht toward it. Once close, they board a lifeboat and head for the shore. But while fishing, Rose accidentally breaks her pole and nearly drowns trying to retrieve it. Derek jumps in after her, pulling her to safety. He performs CPR until she revives. On the island, they explore and discover it's deserted. With nightfall approaching, they build a campfire. As they sit, Derek praises Rose's shooting skills and admits that he was a good cop for 10 years. But when doing the right thing didn't reward him, he chose to work for the bad guys. Derek enjoyed deceiving and stealing from the bad guys he worked with, and felt no remorse. In their conversation, he slips up and mentions his wife, Annalisa, who left him for being a loser. The name Annalisa also belongs to his boat, although he had lied about not knowing the boat's original owner. He then reveals that the captain who killed Alma is the head of a sex trafficking network, and if he had found Rose on the boat, he would have kidnapped her. Rose, enraged, vows to kill the captain, but Derek laughs, mocking her, saying she doesn't even know how to tie a knot. He teaches her how, placing a rope in her hand, as she notices the working SOS transmitter in his backpack. Derek suddenly admits he didn't give Alma the necklace and didn't know her for long. He just thought she was attractive and wanted to sleep with her. He shares his frustration upon learning Rose would be on the trip but claims he warmed to her when he saw she was just as attractive. Rose is stunned. She demands he activate the transmitter, but Derek refuses, claiming she knows too much and must die. He attacks her, but Rose manages to overpower him. She runs and hides in the forest. The next morning, she makes it to the forest's edge. With no choice, she moves toward the beach. Derek spots her, begins shooting, and injures her leg. But as he pursues, Derek slips off a cliff, injuring himself. Rose approaches him and finds he's badly hurt. He still attempts to attack her with a knife, begging her to take him to the boat in exchange for activating the transmitter. She doesn't trust him and tries to activate it herself, but fails. Derek then reveals he planned to offer her to the captain to save his own life. Enraged, Rose runs away, leaving the man behind. She boards the safety boat, then climbs onto the yacht, patching up her wound. That evening, she awakens to find the yacht sinking. Unable to fix it, she gathers supplies and hops into the lifeboat. In her attempt to place Alma's body in, it slips into the water. Devastated, Rose cries helplessly, now alone, hungry, and unsure of how to survive. The next day, she spots a ship nearby and signals it with flares. But the sun blurs her signal, and the ship sails on, leaving her chance behind. That night, a speedboat rescues her and takes her to the ship, possibly the same one from the morning. Upon arrival, she's treated to a warm meal, but the crew's eyes linger with unwanted interest. A drugged woman appears in the kitchen, asking if Rose is new, but a man swiftly escorts her away. Seeing the same bald man from the night of her mother's death, Rose realizes the truth. She later asks to shower. Afterward, she dresses up, applying makeup, and comes to a grim realization she's on the ship of the captain who killed her mother. She heads to the control room, where the captain initially refuses her entry. But upon seeing how beautiful she looks, he makes an exception. Rose thanks him for saving her life, and then seizes the opportunity to seduce him. The captain orders his crew to leave, and Rose comments on the ship's size, asking if he can teach her to sail. Excited, he starts explaining the controls. Once alone, Rose tells him she's injured and asks for medicine. He quickly agrees and heads to find it. Seizing the moment, Rose smashes the captain's head with a wrench repeatedly, killing him instantly. Soon, a crew member notices a logo on the rifle she brought and realizes it's one of their guns. They start searching for her, but she slips past them into a room where she meets the drugged woman. Rose asks about her gun, and the woman reveals there are many in the engine room, giving her directions. Before she leaves, the woman shares that she's not the only girl on board, many others are drugged. Armed with this knowledge, Rose sneaks to the engine room, avoiding the crew. She eventually finds her gun just as a crew member discovers her, but she shoots him dead. One by one, she kills the others who try to stop her. Later, she faces off against a woman from the crew in a brutal fistfight. Though the crew member fights hard, Rose overpowers her and strangles her to death. Rose reaches a room filled with imprisoned girls, but before she can free them, the bald man appears, holding her at gunpoint. He's about to kill her when the drugged girl from earlier strikes him from behind, and Rose quickly shoots him in the head. Determined, Rose heads to the radio room to communicate with the outside world, but an unexpected turn of events occurs when she encounters Derek, still alive. Surprised, she asks how he's there, and he explains he used the SOS transmitter to contact the captain's ship. Rose is shocked the captain spared him, and Derek says they worked things out. Now, he wants to take her to the captain, but Rose laughs, revealing she already killed him. In a fit of rage, Derek strikes her, sending her tumbling down the stairs, knocking her out. He grabs a gun to finish her, but by the time he returns, she's vanished. Frantic, Derek searches the ship, following the trail of blood she left behind. Eventually, he finds himself in a dark corner where Rose unleashes a chemical on him. Seizing the moment, Rose lunges forward and stabs Derek. After a fierce struggle, she pierces his heart with the same knife he once gifted her for her birthday. With the captain and crew all dead, Rose collapses on the floor, gasping in relief. The rescued girls approach her, telling her they're nearing land. They can see lights in the distance. In the present, a police officer questions Rose. He praises her courage and tells her that the rescued girls have been reunited with their families. He gently suggests she should return home too. But with sadness in her eyes, Rose replies she no longer has a home or family. The officer reassures her, saying she still has a future one she fought hard to claim. I hope you enjoyed this introduction. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give me your support with likes and comments.